Sip that coffee, get your mind right, and vibe with the queen herself. We're dishing out hot topics, wellness tips of the day, and things that make you go, Let's get this palace party started.
All right. We are back. Welcome everybody, and happy Wednesday. If you don't know, it is Wednesday morning corporate segment where we talk all things corporate America. Listen, I'm excited about it, but give me 1 second. I want to make sure I don't have two lives scheduled at once. Hold on. But I decided I wanted to do something different. I want to talk about high performers. High performers, those of you that really do a great job in corporate America, and you say, listen, Queen Sheba, I've been on my job for quite some time, and not because seniority rules, but because I'm a high performer and I do a really good job. I have a great relationship with my employer, and I really love what I do. Well, this one is for you. This one is for you. And you may not be, necessarily best friends or have the best relationships, but at the end of the day, maybe you are the individual that takes your job serious. You look forward to going to work every day. Even on the bad days, you still produce. You understand the assignment as a high performer. And when you think about, well, what is a high performer? It has nothing to do with your pay range. It has nothing to do with your job title. And high performers, they're not just productive. If you think about the engine of a car, they are the engine of the growth. They are your innovators. They're always coming up with new ideas. They're think tanks, the ones you like. I want to hear your thoughts. Those are your high performers, right? And they really get in there. You bring them in to get ish done, to get the job done. They're not necessarily the smartest in the room, but you feel like they're going to run the ball. Maybe you're the one that's going to run the play. And what I mean by that, you may not be the smartest, you may not be the most educated, but at the end of the day, hey guys, we're going to figure this out. We're going to figure it out. Let me think about it, and if I'm not the right person, let me put the right people in the room. Let's call a meeting. I think we need this individual, that individual, and let's run it by this person. Those are examples of high performers. And in many organizations, sometimes high performers, watch this, can be seen as difficult, intense, or hard to manage. What do you mean? They can be hard to manage. They can be really intense. When they make up their mind about something, it could be hard to change their mind. Sometimes managers who may be undeveloped may have a hard time reeling them in. And if you don't understand what a high performer is, they call them masterminds. You could mistakenly label them as a difficult employee. And some leaders even consider letting them go, or have considered, can we do without this employee? It's not the work, but it's just, I just never know what to this, and they may have considered it, but they don't, and they won't let you go as long as you continue to perform. So this segment is dedicated to why high performers are untouchable in the workplace. Okay. That's what we're going to tackle today. Are y'all ready? Everybody's feeling good? Are we up to speed? Now, let me just say this, and we've talked about this quite often. Many times, my commentary is geared to those of you that are needing to improve in an area, navigate a specific complexity that you're up against in corporate America, right? And I hate to say it, but low performers, letting go of a low performer is easy. Hold on. What do you mean low performer? Inconsistent. Someone who's inconsistent, who's unreliable, not necessarily sustainable in their output and productivity. That's easy. Corporations do it every day. But letting go of a top performer, that's where leadership gets real. That's where you're actually challenged as a leader. If you're a manager tuned in today, if you're team lead tuned in, a VP, because now you understand the pros and the cons. And you also understand the challenge is this could be risky. This could be deemed a very risky behavior of me letting go of a top performer because you as a manager or you as a director feels like he or she is difficult to manage. What does that really mean? Because right now it's subjective. Have they broken any rules? Have they not met their performance whatever metrics? And the answer is no. As a leader, you really can't get behind that, right? Every company has them, the high performers, the problem solvers, the innovators, the employees who somehow produce more results in a week than others do in a month. And as a matter of fact, I feel like that's an overstatement. Sometimes your high performance can produce more in 2 hours. They can produce more results in 2 hours than others do in a week. And if there's a book called the 4 hour work week. Have you heard of that book? The 4 hour, let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. I read that book many, many years ago. You know what? Now that I think about it, I've had no business doing things that I've done years ago. I was well ahead of the curve. But there's a book written by Tim Ferriss, and it's called The 4 Hour Work Week. Check it out. And basically, he gives you the strategy of maximizing your time so that you can become a high performer in your 9 to 5, where you escape the 9 to 5 that everybody else does, where you're sacrificing your time, your family, you're answering emails while on vacation, you're still working after 6 p.m. But he gives you the strategy of how to live your best life now in a professional realm, okay, where you can get a lot of things done in 4 hours. The 4 hour work week is what he calls it. If you dedicate yourself for 4 hours per week, you can outperform many of those that you work alongside in corporate America. He also goes into detail in the book of how the corporate structure in the Western culture is set up to reward sacrifice and not productivity. Okay, what do you mean by that? Well, if I see you working until 10 p.m. and you're still on Skype, I'm probably going to call you out and give you a thumbs up in a meeting. Hey, look at Somali Queen. Oh, Somali, I saw that you were up late at night. I got on my computer really quick to check something, and Somali was still working at 10 p.m. Well, in the book, Tim Ferriss says, why would we reward sacrifice? Because if Somali is a mother and a wife and she's up at 10 p.m., she's sacrificing her time with her family. She's sacrificing her sleep. That doesn't necessarily mean she's being productive. So in the book, it talks about sacrifice versus productivity and how the corporate structure is built to reward those that sacrifice versus those that are productive. How corporations need your green light to be on via Skype, Teams, whatever it is, just to prove that you are working, when really you could just be clicking a mouse. Doesn't mean you're being productive because I'm seated at my computer 8 hours a day. And we're going to talk about that, how high performers perform in the workplace, and they work smart and not hard. Thank you to Latrice for pinning that for me. Here it is if you would like to check it out, The 4 Hour Work Week. He also goes into detail in the book to talk about how you are conditioned in the Western culture and in Western society to put aside living tomorrow instead of today. I mean, it's such a great book. And I think I read it when I was like 21 years old. Okay. Listen, it gave me an excuse to drink wine because he says, why are you waiting to get that expensive bottle of wine when you retire? Who says that you're going to retire at age 65? Who says that you won't be fired before then? And he goes into detail how we are conditioned to wait. And we put sacrifice over living and sacrifice over productivity. Very good book. Please check it out. Simple Logic said we had a team meeting yesterday and 4 people were let go. I looked at their numbers and they were low performers. Very sad. How long have they been with the company? That would be my question to you. Yeah, we read, you said another good book is James Clear's Atomic Habits. Yeah, we read that in our book club. If you join the members only, we do read books. James Clear was one of the ones that, the Atomic Habits is one of the ones that we did tackle. That's an excellent call out, simple logic. But yeah, the employees, your high performers, the problem solvers, your innovators, the employees who produce more results, I'm going to say, in a few hours than some do in a week. And you feel like, well, I didn't see you online. Listen, managers, directors, team leads that are in here, don't trip. Don't harass them. Did you get what they need? Did you get what you needed from them? Who cares if they're doing a walk and talk meeting? These are not children. These are adults. These are high performers. Why do you need somebody to be seated in their seat in front of their computer as if they're elementary age kids in order for you to feel comfortable that they're being productive? It's asinine. It's asinine, but I'm going to teach you how to work around that as a high performer. And here's the truth. But here's the truth. If we really break it down, right? Corporations, if you are a high performer, will do almost anything to keep you. Let that marinate. So we're going to break down the real reasons why high performers are protected, promoted, and prioritized, and why losing even one can cost a company far more than most leaders and most teams realize. High performers don't just do their jobs. They don't just do their jobs. It's bigger than that. They outperform average employees by 200 to 500%, depending on the industry. Some of you call them kiss asses. But if you look at their performance and how they run circles around the average employee, and you think about, well, why would they be protected? If you look on the flip side of the coin, there's a return on that investment for the corporation. This means more revenue, faster innovation, better customer results, fewer mistakes, less oversight needed. What do you mean? You don't really have to manage them. They're independent. So if you have a senior director that's doing one-on-one meetings throughout the week and they really don't have a lot of time, they're more likely to ping the high performance, hey, listen, I'm going to be out of the office on a business trip. If you need to meet, we can. But if you're okay, I'm okay. I really don't have anything. When some of you have to go to your one-on-ones on a weekly basis. Faster innovation. They're always thinking on the behalf of the company. How can I make this better? How can we become more cohesive as a team? How can I allocate myself appropriately to my matrix partners? Your matrix partners, you guys, are just people you work with throughout the organization. They may not be on your team. They may not be in your department, but at some point in time, you guys cross each other and you have to work with each other. Okay, those are your matrix partners. And I'm not trying to be offensive by explaining, but I also don't want to assume that everybody knows what we're saying. They generate more revenue. They come, sometimes when you have those idea boxes that corporations, depending on what industry, place in break rooms, and then you be like, oh, that was brilliant. It was simple, but it was brilliant. Yeah, innovation. And they manage their relationships well. Some of you view it as kissing ass. Excuse my language for this segment. Oh, he's a kiss up. She's a But they manage their relationships very well throughout the organization. Not to say that everybody likes them, but they show up well. All right. So those are some of the reasons or some of the ways that corporations benefit from investing in their top performers. And when one person is producing the equivalent of 3 people, listen, you're going to keep them. They're going to keep you. If you are producing the equivalent of 3 people with your eyes closed, it's a no-brainer. Now, oftentimes, here's the catch, 22. Corporations don't tell you oftentimes that you are a high performer. You've got to be witty and savvy enough to know that you are. They're not going to necessarily tell you that verbally, but they should tell you that financially. with your bonuses, with your pay increases, with your assignments, pulling you in for stretch opportunities. And corporations really, really hesitate to replace you because replacing you means a drop in performance that companies feel immediately. They're going to feel you when you leave. Your essence, your vibe, your dedication, things begin to fall apart if they risk getting rid of you. Does that make sense? Let's see if we have, let me go to the chat and see what you all are saying. Hold on. I want to come back to talking about replacing a high performer, but let me see what you all are saying in the chat. Oh, they were there ranging from 3 to 9 years. Okay. That's pretty long. That's pretty long. Shorten says, I had to learn to work smart. I was working when others was lacking and getting more praise. So over it. Yeah, but see, that's why you need the book, The 4-Hour Work Week, so that you're not sacrificing. You're still being productive, but you are reclaiming your time. We want you to reclaim your time. Gina says, I need to share this book with my daughter. She is a first-year attorney and works over 80 hours per week. Oh my God, that's not good. It's not sustainable. It's I'm gonna stop there. Yeah, I think that would be a great read, a great start for her. Okay, let's continue on. So, replacing a high performer can cost a fortune depending on their tenure within the organization. How do I know if I'm a high performer? I just kind of laid out some quick bullet points, right, for you. But here's something that corporations track very carefully regarding high performers. And some of them aren't going to tell you that you're a high performer, because unfortunately, humans are still humans. Not everybody is developed in a professional capacity where they can really sit you down and say, wow, who are you? You are one badass within this corporate structure. I am happy to have you on my team. It's rare. You get some, but you'll get. I mean, I'm not saying the feedback doesn't happen, but I'm saying it's rare. And that's why it's important for you to toot your own horn and know who you are so that you can continue to produce and you can continue to work smart and not hard. Okay. But here's something that corporations track very carefully when they think about recruiting. If I let go of Shorten, what would it take to replace her or backfill her? Okay. The recruitment expenses, that's the advertisement, the time, the money that I have to pay to these websites to host the job opening, the onboarding, the training, the recruiters that have to interview, all of this. The recruitment expenses, the onboarding time, and the training, right? How do I manage the holes in the business unit? Because if I let go of this top performer, there will be more than likely a slowed productivity, missed opportunities. How will this impact me when the sales team realizes that Toot is no longer here? When our clients realize that Toot is no longer here? When our pharmaceutical partners say, you know what? The only reason why we kept this account is because we loved Shorten, but we're going to take our business elsewhere. What do you mean, Queen Sheba? Many times people do business with you and they keep you because they like you. And if they like your high performer and you're feeling froggy off of ego and you get rid of them, you will start to see the impact of that, which is why corporations hesitate and they track very carefully the pros from the cons. Strategic delays. I told you, high performers are innovative. Who's to say that if I let go of him or if I let go of her, that somebody else is going to be able to step in and think and be creative and become an innovator like Cheryl can? I don't know. Right now, we're almost to deadline. We're renewing these contracts. I don't know if I want to take the chance to get rid of him or her in this moment. team morale. Typically, high performers, even if people view them as difficult, once I know I can depend on you, once I know that you are a go to, you are a think tank, team morale can be impacted. Because if you let go of a high performer, and I'm not a high performer, what makes me think I'm safe? So it can also cause the team morale to dip. Okay. And studies show that replacing, if and when you replace a top performer, it can cost the corporation, what do they say? 1.5 to 2 times their annual salary. Yeah. The, so it could cost it. So even though you're cutting toot and she made, let's say, 100K a year, you letting her go can cause you to lose as high as 200K, double her salary. You know what I'm saying? So companies just don't keep high performers because they want to. They keep them because they can't afford not to. Are y'all with me? Typically, high performers, when you think about them, they can solve problems that others can't. And I believe there's a reason high performers are constantly pulled into key meetings. And I just say you get pulled in, and sometimes you have little to no experience. Has that ever happened to you? You like your boss may come and say, "Hey, Sue, can you sit in this meeting for me? I need your eyes on this." You, in your head, you be like, "That is not my job." Doesn't matter. They see you differently than you see yourself. They're not going to say, "I'm plugging you into this meeting because you are a high performer." But I'm going to tell you today, they're plugging you in that meeting because they feel like you can solve problems that even they can't. I need your eyes on this. What are your thoughts about Jeffrey? And you're thinking, why is he asking me about another employee? They're deferring to your leadership. They may assign you to high stakes projects because they feel like you can analyze complex situations without being emotional or personal. You solve problems quickly. You make decisions with limited information. You don't have to marinate all week, all day. You don't need 10, 15 meetings to make a decision. They brief you and you say, well, my opinion is, I mean, A, B, C, but have we considered this? And that's all you have. They spot opportunities before others do. Hey, listen, I know the company that we sold that product to is really upset about the capabilities and the feature, and they don't really understand how it works. But I think this could be an opportunity to go back and sell the upgrade. Why don't we represent to them? Come in, we'll bring this team, that team, ask the clinical, whatever, the clinical director to come in, explain this, and then let's sell them the upgrade, spotting opportunities. High performers are stabilizers too. When everybody else is panicking, when we talk about mergers, revenue drops, um, somebody in the chat just said, "Oh, we let go of 4 people." Your high performers, they're non-reactionary, non-reactive. They sit back. People are you scared? Even if they are, no. I mean, it is what it is. Stabilizers. And corporations keep you as a high performer because when I have to remember this is the daytime show. I almost said something. They keep you because when something breaks, you're the first ones who can fix it. Even if they're sending you out to be the cleanup girl or the cleanup guy, or hey, can you take this call with this customer? She's really upset. And I feel like you can help de-escalate. Are y'all following? I'm just pausing. Have you ever gone to a job? Maybe you're a new employee, but you're a high performer. And you get in meetings where people are bitching and complaining and going off topic. And Maybe you're the one that says, "Hey guys, just so I'm clear, real quick, just so that I have the right takeaways from the meeting. So we only have 5 minutes left. We were supposed to do A, B, and C, correct?" You're raising the bar for everybody else. You're not condemning anybody. You're not criticizing, but you're saying for me so that I'm clear. You just elevated that meeting in the last 5 minutes, even though they wasted the first 25 minutes, right? You may be the one that raises the bar for everybody else. And again, I'm going to tell you, they know, leadership knows that you are a high performer. However, get very comfortable that although most managers won't say this publicly, they know. They know when you're on a project that things are going to get done. They know if they place you in the right rooms that everybody's going to have to step up their game. They know it, but they're human beings. And it's rare they're going to give you that recognition publicly. Be okay with that as long as you see it financially. As long as you see it financially. Jackie Wilson Rudy says like minded, high performers and leadership will seek you out and you just continue to be effective and efficient. Absolutely. And let me just say this as a high performer, less is more. You don't have to say a lot. I remember my senior director in my one on one was like, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm okay." "Why?" "You do a really good job. Everybody loves you, but one or two people, their feedback when we were doing your, end of the year, da 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 da, they say you don't say a lot in meetings." I said, "I don't have to. Most of the time, it's being said, or if I have a question, I need to speak up. Look, that's how I talk to people." I said, "But I'm just not comfortable talking just to talk." She said, "That's a good point. I never looked at it like that." I said, "Yeah." And half the time you get interrupted anyway. So if I have a question, I'll use the chat feature or I'll come off mute. But many times I've recognized that I'm also in the room with high performers. No need for me to interject. And to be honest, some of those meetings that you're talking about, those aren't my meetings to lead. I'm a key player in the meeting, but those aren't my meetings to lead. So me not talking doesn't mean that I'm not present. You don't have to say a lot. Be very careful with that as a high performer. Don't get it confused with taking charge. I know this girl. Hold on. There's this lady that I work with, very, very smart. Probably one of the smartest women I've met. But most times she would take the opportunity to showcase and peacock her intellect, peacock her leadership, peacock her experience, peacock her uh her wordsmith, her ability to utilize words, and people weren't talking in those meetings. And she and I were talking, and I say less. And she tried it a few times and she said, "Well, I said less and they're still not talking." I said, "Because they know you're going to talk. They feel like, why am I going to talk when you're just going to come in and try to showcase me, outdo me?" I said, "You're literally going to have to completely reformat how you show up in these meetings. And not only that," I said, "you can't put yourself in a position where you're competing with your team. You're going to have to probably assign somebody to head those meetings and you sit back and say less. And it's going to take about 90 days for them to trust that you're not going to try to outshine them." Is she a high performer? Absolutely. Is she very good at what she does? Absolutely. But she didn't recognize that less was more, in my opinion. So as a top performer, for those of you that are tuned in and you're a top performer, and maybe you're saying, "Wow, that's probably an area that I can work on." Saying less, and unless what I'm saying is very thoughtful and it can change the direction and the dynamic of the meeting. And if you're a manager, if you're a team lead, you can give that performance feedback to your top performers. Some of them can be very chatty. You could say, "Hey, did you know that there are people in the room that really want to help you? And if you take a moment to just pause and ask people to come off mute, I think you're going to learn you have a lot of supporters in that room, however you want to put it." Thank you, Catalina. Catalina says, "Queen, you are spitting today." CC says, "Queen, you are so right. Less is more. I work in a high performance area with mostly alpha types. My MO is I only communicate with something of value. So leadership listens when I speak. That's it. That's all." Some of the things you can use as if you are a chatty high performer and you're like, "Oh, Queen Sheba, that's the area I struggle with. How can I really be more conscious and mindful about speaking to really make an impact?" Okay. Don't come off mute immediately when you feel like you have something to say. Use the raise the hand feature in Teams, WebEx, whatever software systems you use to host your Zoom meetings. That'll calm you down. It's almost like a dog that gets excited, right? I gotta say something. And sometimes you need to formulate your thoughts. You know what you mean. Sometimes you need time to formulate your thoughts. That'll give you time to really think, and then to say, use the acronym WAIT. WAIT. Why am I talking? Do I really have something to say, or do I just want to talk? And if you land on in your mind, "I just want to talk," then unclick the hand raise feature, and they're going to say, "Hey, Gina, I saw that your hand was raised." You can say, "Oh, no, I'm good now. Somebody answered that question." Even if they did. "I'm good. Thank you." That's a strategy you can use. Or you can use the chat feature to ask your question, just like you do on YouTube. That'll slow you down a little bit. Got it? All right. Yeah, but most managers aren't going to say that you're a high performer publicly. That means within the organization. They're not going to shout you out. You may never get the recognition that you deserve. However, they know that when you're in that room, you're going to inspire competition. What do you mean? Have you ever felt like, "Dang, I'm not a threat"? All of a sudden, since I'm in the meeting, it feels like it's being competitive. People want to be the first to do this and do that and yeah, you just inspire competition. That's why they put you on point in that meeting. I feel like, golly, I feel like she's coming at me. And that's exactly why you're in that meeting, because they know you inspire a competitive spirit. You're raising the bar amongst other employees. You're going to set the higher standards and you don't even know it. You're going to push innovation. All of a sudden, everybody got an idea after you just threw something out there. And some of you are offended. Don't be offended. Take it as a compliment. You create momentum. All of a sudden, everybody want to rush to be the first one to do the PowerPoint. You just created momentum. That's why that senior director, that VP, that team lead strategically put you in there. You'd be like, "Well, it doesn't feel fair to me." It doesn't matter. The organization, the corporation benefits from it. And if you can understand how this works, "Oh, I'm a high performer." And sometimes they're going to place me in turbulent places, turbulent atmospheres to get the job done. Yeah, pretty much. Yep. Let's see. Let's talk about the skills of a high performer, and then I'm going to open the lines up for any questions. So, high performers, they have rare skills. What do you mean rare? Just I'll call out a few. And when I call out these skills, these are some of the reasons why they choose to keep you or other employees This is the reason they choose to keep high performers over other employees, because your skill sets are rare. They're not impossible to find, but it's expensive to replace you. You get what I'm saying? You're not the only Tesla with the navigation system, with the dual sunroof. But the problem is, if I already had one, why would I go back out to market to pay double the price for what I just had? Does that make sense? Oh, this is making sense. I hope somebody's feeling inspired. If I had a high performer, and I'm using a car as an example, and I've already paid, why would I just tell somebody else, hey, come take this car? Do you want it? Or that car leaves or whatever happens. And then I have to go back out and pay double for that car. I just had one. So it's not that they can't get the vehicle, it's expensive to replace it. It doesn't make sense to get rid of it just to go get the same thing at a higher price tag. I'm used to this one. I've become comfortable with it. I know how it drives. It doesn't make sense. And that's why I say, when leaders are faced with, do I let them go because their manager is saying that they are difficult? What do you mean difficult? Well, she doesn't talk in meetings. Okay. What about her performance? What about his performance? Well, he's just kind of sitting in the back of the room. That's subjective. Give me something. Can you give me anything? No, I can't. All right. Well, we really don't have anything here. Thank you, Paulus A. Welcome, Paulus A. Is this your first corporate Wednesday morning corporate segment? Paulus A says, new subby, you got great content. Thank you. We've been here for a while, Paulus. We're happy to have you. We are happy to have you. Catalina, excellent point. She says, as a high performer, that's the hard part, not getting offended. Absolutely. Not getting offended. You're at the top. People are going to feel some kind of way about you being in the room. People are going to feel some kind of way, and they will poke holes in your theory. She doesn't even have that type of experience. I don't. But that's not why I'm here, because my skill sets are rare. I have rare skills, and sometimes high performers have skills that often include strategic thinking. See, I don't have to be a doctor to strategically think of how to increase and get better patient care scores. Technical experience, high emotional intelligence, deep industry knowledge. What does that mean? Something that can be taught. You love what you do. You got deep industry knowledge just on your. Listen, some of you don't even know how to pitch yourself, and you're high performing. You're running circles around everybody. What you mean, Queen? Let's just say you're in the industry, right? Whatever that industry is, banking, healthcare, oil, gas, logistics, technology, transportation, food service, customer service. But in your spare time, when I say deep industry knowledge, you're on YouTube page. You follow people there. Your Instagram, your social media. You follow people in this industry because you want to, not because you're getting paid to. And before you know, you have so much knowledge about this industry that you can recite it with your eyes closed. That's what I mean by deep industry knowledge. Some of you possess the spirit of creativity, and last but not least, some of you are excellent leaders. Even though you're not in a leadership position, you're deemed individual contributors, but really you have great, fantastic leadership potential. At work, you're a contributor, but in the church, you're the lead on the board of finances. In your community, you're the lead in the HOA. You're leading this, or you get what I'm saying? When it comes to your daughters or your son's sports, you're the lead parent that gets everybody together. Great leadership potential. And you don't know how to tell the story sometimes to bring it all together to highlight these skill sets that are deemed rare within corporations. Because even though the system needs you, the system sometimes operates against you so that you don't know your worth and you're not prepared to go to the table to ask for your worth. What does it mean? because they'll put a piece of paper in front of you called a job opening, and they'll say, we need A, B, C, D. And if you haven't done this for 5 to 7 years, then you probably don't want to apply. I have done it 5 to 7 years, actually 15. I just haven't done it for you. I haven't done it in a corporate realm, but I've done it on the HOA. I've done it in the church, or I've done it in the Chamber of Commerce. I've done it wherever. Then put it together and be able to tell the story of why you're qualified and why you applied for that role. You get what I'm saying? Last but not least, when a high performer leaves, they take years of institutional knowledge with them. You've seen new hires come in when a high performer has left, and you'd be like, child, this is a mess. This is a mess. You may say, we miss you so much. You may have happy hour with them every now and then. They're at their new job, but y'all are still meeting, going to have, and you're talking about how much you miss them. That's it. SHME. Thank you, Ross Thompson, subject matter expert. A SHME. They call it a SHME. Yes, they know how to deep strategy, and you're a visionary. And I'll tell you this, your time will come one day to shine, even if you're in an organization or you have to work with teams that kind of want to close the door on you. And when you have these ideas and you have these strategies that you know can take the company or the team to another level, you should keep a Word document. That's what I do. I keep a Word document. If I'm working on a project for a community service program, a mental health, and I make notes in that moment. I said, I'm going to come back to this because I know there's going to be a meeting sometime. And man, when I get to pitch this, I am going to pitch it. So don't let the thought or the idea go. And that's all I have for you today. I hope it's been a very helpful session on why high performers are hard to let go. Why corporations, why you're untouchable in the workplace. The only way you can get walked out is if the company is fledgling, merging, you get a new team, or if you have behavior that's so bad, they have no choice but to get rid of you. You violate like the code of ethics, you're stealing computers, they caught you, I don't know, stealing time, logging in at work, and then you're leaving after lunch, never coming back again. That's how you can get yourself fired. At that point, you violated the code of ethics. You are a problem. You're a liability for the company. But outside of that, it's very hard to get rid of a high performer. And that's why you are untouchable, even when people try to come against you. Sis Zakia said, thank you so much. This was insightful. Thank you, Queen. Have a great day, chat. I will drop the link. If you have any questions, feel free to click the link. If you are attempting to work through or navigate maybe a complexity or just something within the confines of your corporation, and you say, you know what, can I pick your brain real quick? Do it. That's why I'm here. Save yourself some money, because after this segment, you would have to pay for a one-on-one coaching session. That's it. That's all. Let's see. I'll give it let's see. Jackie Wilson Rudy said, I develop systems within my department that work equally effective in my absence, i.e. interview process 30 minutes versus 2 hours. That's good. Ann says, I was once told that I'm too quiet in meetings. I didn't believe in talking just to talk. I learned to prepare for meetings differently by researching the topic ahead of the meeting for commentary. And here's the book that I do recommend for those of you that are trying to be productive and work smart versus working hard. Now, listen, let me give you this. Maybe you are being told you don't talk enough in meetings and you're not comfortable talking just to talk. Ahead of time, this is what you can do. You don't have to talk in every meeting, but you can ask a question just to get them off your back. Look at the meeting invite. Look at the subject of the meeting. Open up the notes to see what the meeting is about. Comb through it. Know every person that's from every department that's going to be in that meeting. Formulate 1 to 5 questions on a sticky note, in your digital notes. And as the meeting is going on, check off the questions as they come about. If you have a question in your notes that has not been presented and or answered, and your boss or somebody has given you feedback that you don't talk enough, say, hey guys, before we end, real quick, is this something that we've considered? And then ask your question. That's it. That's talking in a meeting. Got it? There's ways around that. There's ways around that. Yes, we do. We high performers in corporate get large bonuses. I got a bonus of 24,000. Sure did. But I thought that was something. And to my friend who's a senior director, her bonus was 48,000. So I was like, damn. But I'm an individual contributor. She's on a management track. Okay. I'm a senior product developer. She's a senior. No, she's a director. So I was like, oh man, I thought I was showing out with my 24K, but when you see other women and men, that's good. We're both, everybody's happy for each other when you get those bonuses, but you're absolutely correct. We high performers in the corporate get large, y'all. I'm not talking. Listen, when you start to get into particular areas and particular roles, those bonuses are not $500 at all. But I remember when I used to get them, I've always been grateful. Gratitude is the key to success. If you're getting a bonus, exhibit gratitude, even if you disagree. You don't have to exhibit gratitude to them, but just figure out how to position yourself strategically the next year so that you can aim at your goal, whatever that bonus is. So even when I was getting bonuses that were $200 or $1,200 or $2,000, I thought it was free money, right? Based off of what I did. And then when I start getting into the realm of 8,000, oh my God, 17,000, oh my, and then 24, whoa. And then you still have people that are getting 50, 100K. Listen, kudos to you. There you go. No name, phase. No name, no face. I said no nama. No name, no face. I'm a third grade teacher and I called in today because I need a mental health day. I'm glad you brought that up. Because I skipped over checking in with everybody. And I'll do that at the end. Gina says, great and to the point, Queen. The gems you always drop are amazing. Thank you. I'm so used to getting to the point from working in corporate America. I know how to waste my time when I'm not presenting, but I don't know how to waste y'all's time. Okay, Brittany Janae, let's see this one. Brittany says, I was told I'm too quiet in meetings. I just don't like when all eyes are me. I'm better with one-on-one. Let me ask you something. Brittany, real quick, without giving me too much, what industry are you in? Just put the industry, not the job title. What industry are you in? I have two questions. Drop the industry real quick if you're still listening. She may be gone. Sometimes at work you get to pop in and out, but that's okay. I'll give it a few more seconds and then I want to go back to what no name, no face says. Okay, you're in healthcare industry. Let me ask you. Yes or no? This is a yes or no question. Do you feel confident in what you do? Be honest, yes or no? Do you feel like you're a strong employee on that team? Yes or no? Don't judge yourself. Just put the truth, because it may be something else. And I'm going somewhere with this. We're gonna wait. No, you don't. Okay. It's okay. Sometimes we don't talk in meetings because we're not confident. Okay. Listen to me very carefully. That's fine. I knew that was the thing. That's okay. And so it's better to hide, right? So that all right, that's okay. But thank you for being honest because now this is going to give you something to do. And if you do it right by, I'm going to say, what is this? November, December, January, February, March. By April, we're going to give you 5 months. By April 2026, you'll feel more confident. You'll be speaking up a little bit more. I want you to go and bring yourself up to speed on what makes you feel less confident, whether it's needle sticks, whether it's administrative work. I want you to start watching YouTube. I want you to get on TikTok on how you can improve. Okay. Once you feel more confident in that skill set and you're listening and you're learning it, I want you to talk about it more in your one on ones. Okay. Not just if it comes up in your one on ones. And then once you feel comfortable talking about it in your one on ones, every now and then in a meeting, I want you to lean on that thing that makes you feel less confident, but because you've been researching it and becoming an individual that has deep industry knowledge. Okay. It doesn't have to be formal training. It doesn't have to be boring. Find somebody you like on TikTok, find somebody you like on Instagram, or find somebody you like on YouTube and just lose yourself in that technique, whether it's um, well, I do coding. Okay, find somebody that's fun that does coding. Find somebody that's happy on YouTube that gives you shortcuts to coding or teaches you something about coding you did not know. Okay. If it's collections, if you're a nurse, if you're CNA, if you're PCA, whatever it is, registration coordinator, if you're a doctor, whatever it is, embed yourself in that, marinate in it, and you'll show up better in your meetings. I hope that helps. Now, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do a call to action really quick based on no name, no face, this comment. I'm a third grade teacher and I called in today because I needed a mental health day. This is what we're going to do. We're going to stop calling in. We're going to start planning our mental health days. And you're very welcome, Brittany. You're very welcome. All right, let me go back. No name, no face. I put no nami, no nami. No nami face. Look, you should, yes, that's French. No nami face. Anywho, I'm a third grade teacher and I called in today because I needed a mental health day. So we're not going to wait till we need anything. We're going to anticipate the need and we're going to have it already scheduled. I want you all to pull up your calendars right now. Well, first of all, let me ask you something. Cheryl says, yes, I planned my mental health days. Gina, we're not doing that. You will not. What industry are you in, Gina? Nonami Fase. Yes, Nonami Fase. That's your new name. You see how creative I am? I think I get on people's nerves at work. I'm always coming up with something. I can't help it. Nonami Fase. Listen, I don't understand why you would be afraid to take a day off. That means you're working under heavy scrutiny. You're working in a toxic environment that you feel guilty for taking a day off. I don't like that for you, Gina, at all. I'm a school-based speech language pathologist. All right, we're finna plan mental health days. Here we go. We're gonna take 3 minutes. Everybody pull up your calendar right now. I want you to pull up the calendar right now for November. This is what we're gonna do. Oh, before we do it, if you had a choice, this is the question. Before we do our mental health planning, you're going to send it in today while you're on the phone with me because you have the support and the energy behind you. That's me. All right. If you had to choose a Friday or a Monday off, would you take Friday or Monday? Put it in the chat. Let's go. And I'll call it out. Let's see who the real adults are. Are you taking Friday or are you taking Monday? We're going to do it real quick. We got 3 minutes. All right. Let's see who the real adults are in the chat. I got a Monday. We got J 2023. We got Gina. Monday. Jay says Monday. Cheryl says a Monday. Somali Queen says she's taking Monday. Brittany is taking Monday. Dear Yvette. Oh, we got some adults here. We got Monday. We got Monday from the Black Women Lifestyle. Roz, you can only choose. You got to be a high performer. I gave you choice A or B. Come back, Roz. Okay, Monday from G. Michelle. We got Ann with Monday. No Name Fase is going to take Monday. Just give me one, y'all. I didn't say both. See, I can see who my problem employees are. Cheryl is saying Monday. Rude Girl saying Friday. Listen, all you got to do is give me the day. Friday or Monday. Cheryl, Monday. We got Monday. I'm an artist. Val is saying Monday. Roz is saying Monday. You see the problem, employees? Didn't I just ask one question? Y'all giving me all of that. See, that's how y'all be getting written up in these meetings. We're having a good time over here. Monday, New York Happy Hour is going to do Monday. We got I still got them not following instructions, Somali. Not following. Listen, now I see. All right. So this is what you're going to do. Pull out your calendars right now. Pull up next week. Pull up the month of November. I'm pulling up my calendar too. We're going to do this together. Watch this. This is going to take us 3 minutes. All right. We got November up next Thursday, right? Next Thursday is Thanksgiving. I want you to request, for those of you that said Monday, December 1st off. Got it? Go ahead and put it on your calendar. Day off. Stay with me. We're going to go all the way to January. We're going to, don't say, oh, well, you know, I can really don't have to take off because everybody's going to be on vacation. And although I'm logged on, I don't have to do work. That's not what we're doing, because your brain will still know you're at work. I want you to take December 1st off. Okay. For those of you that said Monday, for those of you that said Friday, you can take Black Friday off. Okay. Now let's scroll down to Christmas. That's on a Thursday. I want you to take December 29th off. For those of you that said Monday. For those of you that said Friday, you're going to take December 26th off. You get it? All right. Now, New Year's Day is on a Wednesday. That's on a Thursday. I want you to take January 5th off. You see what we just did? Watch this. Well, I already have off. Who cares? I'm giving you, take off that Monday. I just gave you 3 Mondays in a row. I gave you November, what? No, December 1st. December 29th, January 5th. And I want you to call it. Don't say vacation, PTO, Mental Health Monday. Mental Health Monday. Got it? Watch this. So you got December 1st, December 29th, January 5th, and I want you to put in, if you can, January 16th. That's the Friday before Martin Luther King holiday. I just bought you a lot of time off. And you're not even taking weeks off. You're just having a day here, day here. Everybody else is asking for a week, 2 weeks for Christmas. I got kids. You're not even coming at them like that. Ma'am, I'm just asking you for 1 week. And you're going to put Mental Health Monday. That's it. That's all. Got it? All right.
Wow.
Yep. It's that simple. And that's how high performers think. They're innovative, they're creative, they're fast, they're swift. How can I get the most bang out of my buck? Let's see. They're going to be fighting over Christmas. I'm not going to fight over Christmas. I'll just hit them where I'm not here for 3-4 Mondays in a row. So I have a 4-day weekend back to back to back. You see what I'm saying? While everybody else is fighting to go in through the front door, high performers say, I'll go around to the back. I'm going to get what I want regardless. I'll just have to go through the back door. Any questions? I'll drop the link one more time. And that's it. Thank you, Noami Fase. You say, you know what you do with them? When it says, I should have, but yesterday I had a kid throw. Start staring those kids down. Instead of, hey, stop talking, just stare at them. That one or two that gives you a problem. And then after you're done staring at them, you got to make them look away though. When they look away, wait 30 seconds and then go stand by them every now and then. Exert your energy without using any words. Dominate over them without using any words. Just stare them down. And don't smile. Make them very uncomfortable because they know they're at an age, you don't throw a pencil and hit somebody with a pen and all of that, pushing desk and screaming. Just stare at them. I bet they straighten up real quick. Be like, whoa, what's that? What the hell is that? You're welcome. You says I have Simple Logic said I have 122 hours of sick PTO time. Thanks for the reminder. You're very welcome. Thank you, Somali. Genius. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Just take it off. Like nobody's that great in corporate America. Don't tell yourself that story. Take the damn time off. God forbid if something happens to you. Trust me. You lose the PTO, they're going to backfill you tomorrow. Take your time off. Get your mind right. Enjoy yourself. Where are you going? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. That's it. That's all. Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful, beautiful day today. And that concludes our Wednesday morning corporate segment.